what is more important this season? Patriots team success, like a playoff win, or Mac's development in the long run? Join in the conversation by going to NBCSportsBoston.com/early edition. You can vote in the poll right there. You can just scan that QR code and vote. Right now, overwhelming favorite, Giles, 79% is the development of Mac Jones. That is how I voted. Is that how everybody else here voted?
Yeah, I would say it is for me. The way I look at it, where you are in the AFC right now, you're not winning a Super Bowl. I think there's a very clear upper tier in the conference. This has been established the last 2 years. It's Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati, and everyone else. Those three teams stand alone. How do you get onto that tier is the question. And you get on that tier first and foremost by having a quarterback who can compete at that level. And so figuring out whether or not you have one in Mac Jones, figuring out whether or not he's got the ceiling to get there, I think is paramount this year. And we've seen, really since this system of paying rookies went in 2011, the decision time more often than not is after year 3 on young quarterbacks. There are rare exceptions. Daniel Jones would be one. But for the most part, you have your mind made up after year 3 in which way you're going to go. And I think that this becomes an important year for Mac Jones' development, an important year for the Patriots and seeing where they're at, and an important year judging whether or not like that top tier is within shouting distance. I don't think you can get to that tier this year, though.
So while I overall agree with both of you as far as this goes, and I'd rather see Mac Jones just make that leap, the other side, the other argument would be, well, what if the Patriots did what the Jets did this offseason? And what if the Patriots have a really good defense this year, but Mac Jones isn't very good, and you finish, 7-10, but all you are is a franchise quarterback away from being considered a Super Bowl contender, which the Jets are right now. But the problem is that I just don't trust, and I don't think that the Patriots would go out there and trade for that guy. If that guy is even going to be out there this offseason, are they going to pay him? Are they going to give up the draft capital? That would be the other argument to me.
Phil, do you feel differently? Would you go with Mac's development over a team? And if you would, I want to ask you a different question then.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Mac Jones because, listen, the big picture ramifications are better for your club. If we're being realistic about what the Patriots are right now, as Albert said, in a perfect world as a team this year, are you really contending for a championship? The answer there would be no. Can you contend for championships in the future if Mac Jones becomes the true face of this franchise and sniffing, say, a top 10 type of quarterback in the NFL? Yes. So, yes, you should be trying to do all you can to develop him into that guy, because the last place you want to be, Giles, in my opinion, because those franchise quarterbacks don't come around all that often. They aren't just available every single offseason. That's not the blueprint you want to follow. You do not want to have to start over at this position if you don't have to. Do all you can to develop the quarterback you have right now.
Okay, Phil, so we're all on the same page. We all would rather see Mac develop into a franchise quarterback, even if it's at the expense, if the defense doesn't hold up its end of the bargain or something like that. My question is then, Phil, at what point do you have to start winning games, and not just winning games in the regular season, but getting to the postseason and having success there? Like, at what point does that become the expectation?
Well, listen, what's nice about developing a quarterback and helping him blossom into, again, maybe a top 10 guy is that, generally speaking, your team gets a lot better because that position is so damn important. I've been racking my brain trying to think of an example of when a quarterback took the leap and the team didn't follow. How many quarterbacks take the leap and the team ends up a 6-win team or a 7-win team? It just doesn't really happen. Tua Tagovailoa last year ends up getting injured, sort of derails his progress, but he takes the leap and the team goes with him. Josh Allen, a few years ago, he takes the leap, the team goes with him. Jalen Hurts, same way. It's just the nature of this position. I understand the exercise. I want to stay true to the exercise, Trenni. Do it for the show, but it's really hard for me to picture a scenario in which the quarterback gets much better and the team simply does not.
Well, I would say, though, that way that happens maybe is that you do get better, but you're still not good enough. And then I would say that you need to start investing, which is my biggest problem. You start investing in the offensive line and wide receivers so that next year, Bert, you are going to the postseason.
And an important piece of that is now you become attractive to guys who are free agents, to guys who might want out and are looking to be traded, to A.J. Brown. Philadelphia was a very attractive landing spot for A.J. Brown, not only because he had a relationship with Jalen Hurts before he got there, but because he really believed that Jalen Hurts could play. Like, his friendship with Jalen Hurts wouldn't have meant anything if he didn't think the guy could play. He thought he could play. And what happens? Now he goes to Philadelphia and they take it to another level. Tyreek Hill, he said until he was blue in the face how much he liked Tua Tagovailoa. Now, part of that, of course, is that it's in Miami and he wanted to be in Miami. But if he didn't think like Tua had a little something to him, then it would have been much harder for him to swallow getting traded there. So I think that's the other piece of it here is you're not good enough at tackle right now. You're not good enough at receiver right now. But you want to become a destination again for people to come to. And, the opportunity to come and be the number one receiver in a place where you've got a rising young quarterback has shown itself to be something that can be attractive to young receivers.
The only thing is, though, the timing of that is kind of difficult, right? Because you're going to have Mac Jones going into his 4th year, and then you're going to have to make decisions on his contract at the same time. It feels like they almost missed the boat
window.
on going ahead and strengthening that offensive line and getting that number one receiver.